Radio Underground.
1, 2, 3. Oh, you already started.
Yeah, started.
Oh, okay.
We're going. So we were talking about Stranger Things before we talk about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And this is episode 25. I can't believe this project has lasted this long.
A quarter of a century. Well, not a quarter of a century, but a quarter of 100.
It's 1/4 of 100.
No, I actually, one of the groups I'm in on Facebook, it's called the episode critique show thing. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, they had a stat that said that half of all podcasters stop after episode 7, and of that half that make it, the other half stop after 15. And then they keep on going. They talk about all the stats. Once you get to a certain level, how many people stick with it after that certain level. And he said, if you get past episode 25, chances are you do it for a long time. So
yeah, we don't have lives.
No.
So since we don't have lives, that gives us a big advantage over most people.
I have a wife and kids, but I have no life.
No.
So.
Well, you can't have a whole lot going on because you got to take care of the fam.
Yeah.
Yo.
That's true.
I just don't have a life outright. I'm a bachelor. I could do whatever I want, and I choose not to do anything ever.
You could go out and buy a Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah. I'll do that. If we make it till New Year's, I'll buy one. If this show makes one full year, we're going to do Rodecaster Pro, and then I can do phone calls and everything as it is with the Zoom. I can.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a process, as they say in Canada.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I don't know. It's just
don't invest the money yet.
Yeah, I don't need to. And right now we are on about a $50 interface.
Yeah.
Your microphone is a $20 microphone, and this is a $100 microphone. But I think your microphone actually sounds better, which is funny.
It seems like I'm getting over a little bit better right now. Maybe it's just my headphones. It's hard to tell.
You know, the funny thing is we decided that we're doing our at the moment I just got a text from Chris. You guys doing a live show tonight? It's like
we can't because of the technical difficulties.
The internet is not good.
The internet is broke for the entire city, man. Sorry.
We don't have internet. It's broken. But
he'll never know until he listens.
Until he listens tomorrow.
Crap.
But another issue why I didn't want to go live is there was 2 things that I RSVP'd and agreed to go to that I didn't. There was 2 events like, yeah, I'll be there for sure. You can count on me. And then
this way you've totally got cover.
I laid around till 7. I didn't move. I didn't move a single muscle till 7. Just laid there like a fucking beached whale. But
oh well.
So what? So I guess we're going to talk about Stranger Things since that's what's happening in our lives.
If you finished, you're all caught up, right?
Done
with season 3 and everything.
The whole season's
okay, good.
Done.
Good.
I watched it all.
It's good stuff. End of discussion. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good show. They're okay. Next subject.
5-minute podcast.
It's done. Actually, though, I would say it's probably the funnest watch in years of anything I've seen made. I mean, I like I said, I'm not a Walking Dead guy. I've never watched Breaking Bad. I quit Game of Thrones at the Red Wedding, whatever season that was.
3.
So, for me to watch 3 full seasons, basically in a couple days, testament that it's a good show.
Yeah, it touches on everything you like, the nostalgia.
Yep, 80s for sure.
Yeah, it's
the electronics.
There's a lot of different stuff going on at the same time, and everybody kind of comes back together eventually in one episode, and then
Yeah, it was good.
It was I liked it. I don't know if we want to give out any spoilers or anything. We probably don't want to do that yet.
Yeah, it's kind of
we don't want to be those people.
Okay, we're gonna give out spoilers.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. I like Billy a lot more this season.
Yeah, he was a really good protagonist.
Although you like the same part I did from season 2, where the interaction between him and Mike's mom.
Yeah, that was killing me, dude.
I love that part.
He was such a douchebag. He's like, I'm just worried about my sister Max. And he turned into Eddie Haskell.
That was like my second favorite part of season 2, and I said that when we were watching it, because we watched it with the kids. I'm like, I'm laughing my ass off at it, and they're like, "What's so funny about this?" They just, I guess they don't get that Eddie Haskell.
Yeah, they don't
mentality.
get like a guy that pretends to be a good guy, but he's a complete piece of shit, and he's totally flirting with her, and it was just a hilarious interaction.
And it continues into the beginning of this season. He's like, looking good.
Yeah, and then 10 minutes to showtime. All the wives who are probably younger than us.
Yeah,
like they're the milfs, but I'm 40 now. They're probably like 35.
yeah. And they're all just waiting for this young guy to come out. Oh man.
Yeah, and then Billy was a good character. He ended up being a really good character. Because Game of Thrones like made everyone think that everyone's got to be a little bit this or a little, and that it's unpredictable. You never know. But I knew that Billy was going to end up doing the right thing and being good in the end. I just sensed it.
It's kind of because I think that goes back to the '80s part of this. It's an '80s trope that you can always he's like, I know you're still in there, you can do good, and it always seems to happen that way.
Yeah, and the Elle brought out of him, she Darth Vadered him back to Anakin for a moment.
Yeah,
and he saved her, and then sacrificed himself.
Stones was right though. He said last week, he thought the monster this season was freaking awesome, and I agree with him.
It was awesome.
I thought it was great.
It was huge. It was like the size of a corpser from fucking Gears of War.
It was huge, and I just like it wasn't just a because the first two seasons everything's kind of symmetrical, a little bit, and this one was more just like it looks like it had been thrown together because it basically the Mind Flayer basically had to pull stuff from wherever he could just to bring a monster together, kind of thing.
Yeah, he had to make an amalgam of death.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was great. Now, my favorite season was the first season because it was super suspense thriller, almost dark, like a Stephen King type thing.
Yeah.
Or like a Poltergeist, because, you got to talk to Will through the lights kind of thing.
Yep.
I remember that Poltergeist, the TV shit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Kind of reminded me of that.
They're here thing.
Yeah. But then it kind of turned to a 80s bash 'em up, which is also great.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, you definitely see a difference in and maybe it's just changing as the years go on. So it's like the first season was supposed to be more like Poltergeist, and the second season was supposed to be more like a Ghostbusters type thing. So it's getting a little lighter.
And then it turned into fucking Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, Back to the Future. Well, a little bit as far as the not the style of the show, but the colors and stuff.
Red Dawn / Predator.
Predator, and then kind of with the Russians and stuff, it was like every other 80s movie, I guess.
Yeah, it was 80s.
But it was kids taking down the Russians, and there was a movie like that in the 80s.
With Joaquin Phoenix.
Was it Ruskies? Was that the name of the movie?
I think it was called Ruskies, yeah. And Ralphie from Christmas Story was in it.
Yeah, Peter Billingsley.
Yeah, he was in it, and he somehow was a spy that he was in like an individual submersible, and he somehow washed up on the beach.
Yeah.
And the kids grabbed him. We got a fucking Rooski.
And he became their friend.
Yeah, and then
and all the parents, when they found out who the guy was, he was like, nah, he's a Russian, he's evil. But he ended up at the end helping save the kids, and all the parents were like, you're a good Ruski comrade, or whatever it was. Yeah. It was something like that. I almost forgot about that movie, and I started thinking about it during season 3 of Stranger Things.
I wonder if that movie's like the original Ultraviolet, where you just can't find it.
Oh yeah. That's right. You still talk about that movie with Esai Morales, and
I've been trying to find that fucking movie. If anybody out there's listening, and you can find me Ultraviolet with Esai Morales,
not Mila Jovovich version.
Yeah, not the Mila one. The 1993 or something.
I honestly think it was before that even.
It's an old movie. It's well over 20 years old, maybe 30. Esai Morales is a lunatic, and he takes kind of a researcher. People go to this couple. They research they're like, I don't know, geologists or something. They're studying Death Valley.
Yeah.
Esai Morales captures the girl. Her name is Chris, and he's just obsessed with her. And I don't know. I need to find it.
1992.
So yeah, 1992. I need to see that movie. Ultraviolet, Esai Morales. Somebody get it for me. But anyway,
yes, yeah. Stranger Things.
Stranger Thing. they went from walkie-talkies to to CB radio to ham radio. I never had a ham radio.
No.
That hurt. Because I never had a ham radio.
No, you didn't have that. So they kind of jumped the shark as far as you were concerned with the technology.
Yeah, they went beyond me. They went beyond what I could have. What my parents would buy for me. Because like a CB radio, you'd be a couple $100 here and there.
Yeah.
Or $80. You can get decent equipment for under $100 sometimes. When you got a ham radio, that was like the PC or Mac of that time to talk to the world.
Oh yeah.
And you needed a license, and you had to have a ham license to use one because they were so powerful. And you could talk to Sydney, Australia, and shit if atmospheric conditions were right.
It's pretty impressive what they could do with those. Mm-hmm. But
there's people that, by the way, there's people that still do that.
Yeah.
And then when they contact each other, they send each other their, I forget what they're called, cue cards, or there's cards that proof that I contacted this guy. And they used to mail them, like physically mail them.
Oh.
Now they just post on the internet. I talked to Vitaly from the Ukraine today, and there's a picture of Scott from fucking Colorado and Vitaly. I don't get it. Just get in a chat room, guys. I don't know. But
it's
whatever.
What else did I like about season 3? I had a whole list in my head. I thought Carrie Elways as the mayor was fantastic.
He was awesome.
Just a slimy.
He's just a dirtbag politician, and
yeah, I liked him a lot.
And he was in cahoots with the Russians, and then a lot of people were like kind of pissed off about it. Like they're using him as an allegory for Trump, and I read the interview with Elways. He goes, "No, it's just a slimy politician." He goes, "We didn't even bring Trump into it," but I thought it was just a awesome. I just thought he was a cool character.
I did too.
He was like, "I'm gonna give you guys fireworks."
You want fireworks?
Yeah, I thought it was a good season. Like I said, it was the same show, but the seasons offered 3 completely different things.
Yeah.
Like, it went from dark suspense to basically 80s action. And
yeah, and it was like, body snatchers going on there too. That was, I guess, the biggest part of it was like a body snatchers type movie because they kept on snatching bodies.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Billy was great. There was another one I would bring up. Dude, Alexei. I loved Alexei.
Yeah, he was a good character.
I thought he was hilarious. Like when he got shot, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't like that he died.
No, I know. And now, because after season 1, when Barb died, she was in it for like an episode and a half, basically, and then she died, and everybody was like, oh, she's a fan favorite. We need to get justice for Barb. Now everybody's doing the same thing. They want a justice for Alexei.
Yeah, they want Alexei.
That one
back.
makes more sense because he was in it quite a bit longer than Barb ever was.
Yeah, and he was like relatable, and he was had a chance to get away and decided not to. He was trying to defect. He was trying to become an American.
Basically, yeah. He loved everything about here. And
he wanted cherry instead of strawberry on the Slurpees, which you hate Slurpees, and I kind of do too.
Yeah, but even if I were to pick, it would definitely. I've had them very infrequently over the years, but dude, cherry's way better than strawberry.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you go to Slurpee, are you going to get a strawberry Slurpee mixed with a Coke? No, you're going to get cherry mixed with a Coke.
Yeah, cherry Coke.
Yeah, nobody wants fucking strawberry Coke.
Yeah, no, all I ever
or orange Coke.
I don't think I've ever had a single other Slurpee than just Coca-Cola. That's it. That's all I've ever had, and it's probably been 5 times. I'm not a Slurpee head at all.
No, I don't. And I'm not. I don't want to bring it up because I attacked my sister-in-law a couple of times jokingly about banning Slurpees because of 7-Eleven Day.
Talking to you, Amanda.
I don't like them personally, but I don't want her to think that I'm using the show to start up this whole thing again. No, I don't like Slurpees.
He's trying to start shit with you, Amanda.
Hashtag ban Slurpees.
Ban them.
If I go there, I'm either getting a coffee or an iced coffee.
Yeah,
and that's it.
The one right here by my house, that woman, she walks off. There could be a 9-mile long line. She just fucking walks off.
The lady with the red hair?
The one that works there.
Oh, the one actually. Oh, see, now the other day when I was there.
The woman of mountainous regions of Asia descent.
The foreign lady, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a lady who is not foreign that works there, too. She's a little bit heavier with red hair. She always walks out. She's like, I need a smoke break, and she'll walk out and smoke when there's a line, too. I thought maybe you were talking about her.
I've never dealt with her, but I've seen her outside smoking.
In fact, that day when I drove you up there, you went inside, grabbed some stuff, and I saw a line in there. I see her walk out. Like, what the fuck? There's a whole line of people in there. Why are you outside?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't go to that one. It's technically closer to my house, but I actually go to the one closer to the mall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Which their Slurpee selection is a little bit lesser, and most of the time, like 2 of their Slurpee tumblers aren't working. So my family hates it, but they have the better taquitos. They're always stocked up with nice, fresh taquitos.
Yeah, the ones up here are dry as a bone.
No, this guy, I don't know his name. It's like Fahaz or something. That's no joke. I think his name is
Gashneer.
I'm pretty sure it's Fahaz.
Fahaz.
Something like that. But they always have the best, freshest, perfectly cooked taquitos at that one.
Then that's where you got to go then.
5 for $4.
Yeah, I get 3 at a time. I never go over 3.
See, my problem is 3 isn't enough and 5 is too many. But I don't want to buy 4 because you get the deal at 5.
Yeah, so you're losing a deal.
Yeah, I want the 5 for $4.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I get it.
And I'm like, I'll just eat 4 and it'll be fine. And I eat all 5 anyways.
Yeah, and briefly back to Stranger Things before we move on beyond it.
Beyond Stranger Things.
Yeah. The only thing about the show, my only gripe with the show is, like, after all that's happened, even by season 3, where, like, fucking, they've been through, like, portal openings and massive, deaths and, the CIA and all this crazy shit, people talking through walls, ghostly encounters, paranormal insanity. But by season 3, they're still like, Joyce, you're being paranoid. Like they are.
Yeah.
There's
no way this could happen again.
Yeah, they keep doing that. Like, you're just being over the top. You're being paranoid. Like, if I had went through 1/10 of what them people, the minute you said the hair on my neck standing, I'm like, what? Let me get my gun.
Yeah. If Will says something's wrong, I'm jumping into action.
Yeah. Anybody I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel so. Gun. I'd be like right away.
Well, and that's what I liked about, especially watch into the credits. It's my one gripe about everything was like how much shit can keep on happening in this one small town. Yeah, it's this little tiny town in Indiana, and everything keeps on happening here.
Yeah.
So they're expanding the world a little bit because you saw that.
Yeah, they're leaving.
The Byers and 11 moved out of town, and maybe somebody's in Russia.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, and well, they have a.
So they're expanding that world. More evil stuff is going to happen.
There was definitely a monster in a Siberian prison.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, and maybe an American. Who knows?
Yeah,
but that's why they did it that way. I think is because they're like, we need to expand this world. This would be the worst town in America if this shit kept on happening.
Yeah, and it's like it kind of did. Like, at what point do they? Like, Hop kind of kept it quiet for them because there was a deal cut, for them. And it's like, at some point,
which worked to an extent, I guess, but
it was like, why don't everybody in that town just leave? If all the tunnels are just a couple miles,
yeah.
But as my uncle Trace always says, you got to give leeway.
Oh yeah,
if you don't give leeway, you can't enjoy anything.
I can give leeway for 3 seasons, and that's what they did. And now they're finally starting to be like, all right, well, we got to do something.
Joyce Byers is like, I'm out.
She was smart. Yeah. Did you see somebody made a trailer, and it's Hop in his Magnum PI shirt, and they made a parody called Hopper PI, and it shows like the Magnum PI helicopter flying through, and it shows him like jumping in with the gun with his Hawaiian shirt on and stuff.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
I saw that thing there where one of that girl that was from Westwood, Marilyn Manson's ex-chick.
Oh, Evan Rachel Wood.
She was like, she was bitching about the Hop character having toxic masculinity. All right,
I hate people.
Before I fucking just totally go off the rails on that, like, let's just say that that's a thing. Like, if that's something you should worry about present day or whatever. and I was willing to meet your stupid ass, like, present day with that. The show takes place at a time when that was different. Okay, it was the 80s. And like Brian was saying here, he's a Magnum PI guy that's like overweight type character.
Yeah.
Hop is an 80s dude. He smokes, he drinks, he's mean.
The smoking thing got people too.
Yeah, and the smoking thing, that's another thing too.
It's 1980 fucking 5.
Exactly. And then people are bitching about smoking in violent video games. They want the smoking out of the video games?
Yeah.
I'm like, why? The video game is about murdering people. Like, we don't want to promote something that's unhealthy. Murder is unhealthy.
Murder's pretty unhealthy.
Everybody knows not to smoke. Everybody knows not to, and everybody knows not to kill. It is just as stupid as like religious people that blame video games for mass shootings. You're just that dumb. If you're pointing out that, you're a fucking idiot.
When I heard that smoking thing, I'm like, ugh.
Who cares about murder game people smoking?
Yeah.
Now, if you had a game about like young kids or some sort of thing where it's not murdering people, I would get it. Or like a Sims game.
Yeah, if you started playing Super Smash Brothers and one of the characters smoking, cool. You can complain about that.
Yeah, what are they going to do to Rockstar with GTA?
Oh, God.
What are they going to do with that? The whole point of the game is to do drugs and kill hookers.
Yeah,
you're going to get mad about smoking there, too?
Isn't there people doing, like, lines of blow and stuff in that game?
You can do anything you want. Any
That's what
drug
I mean.
imaginable. You can murder people.
You can murder prostitutes. You can do whatever you want in that game.
They did do the violence against women. It's again, man. First of all, everybody knows don't ever hit a woman. Don't.
Yeah.
But in a game where it's about murdering everyone and you murder mostly men, who cares if you kill a few hookers? It's not real.
It's fake.
Anybody who doesn't know that GTA is not real life, they're not fucking gonna go out and do. They're so fucked up that you can't help them anyway. Like if someone's like, "This is how I want to live my life," that's a messed up person. You can't save them anyway.
I mean, if they're basing their life on, I want to live my life like this video game. Well, they're already fucked up in the head. There's nothing you can do for them.
Yeah, you can't fix someone that's that far gone. I don't care who smokes or kills women in a video game. By the way, like. Video game deaths are like real war deaths. Like 90% of everybody that dies is a guy.
Yep.
So when I'm fine with that, I'm a guy. Kill all the guys you want in a video game.
I have no problem with Hop smoking in a show that's based 35 years ago.
Yeah.
No issue with that.
At
all.
Yeah, and they capitulated. They're gonna not do the smoke. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Just kill some monsters, I guess.
Yeah.
But in the end, fuck, man. You guys are fucking need to get a life.
You can't.
Everything ain't your way. The same thing when they get, like, mad about historical people. Well, he did this. That was then. Everybody was evil back then. Everybody.
Nobody had a conscience back then.
Yeah. Well, he did this. He owned slaves. He rampaged across so did everybody else at the time.
And it doesn't make it right, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you can't
now.
fix it. You can't fix it. You can't.
But yeah, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Okay.
There's another point I had to make, and I don't remember what it was now.
Winona Ryder. She is 8 years older than me, but looks 5 years younger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. She is an amazing looking woman.
Yeah.
I can't. See, the thing was, I was never a Winona Ryder guy. Like back in the heyday, when during the. With the Mermaids, was that the movie?
Beetlejuice and Mermaids. Beetlejuice, she was
and there was
young.
guys that just really. I didn't like her then.
No.
I didn't like her when I was young, but now as a grown old man,
she's a little too buggy-eyed for me.
She is, but she looks good.
She doesn't look 48.
She does not look 48 years old at all.
No.
She could pass for 35 easily. Easily.
Oh, I was going to bring up another thing about Hop, because, Hop was just...
Hop looks his age.
He just played Hellboy in the newest Hellboy movie.
Yeah.
And he got all jacked and ripped and good in shape for it. And they did use some prosthetic muscles and stuff, but he got in wicked good shape. And then all of a sudden, you see him in a season, he's got a gut again. It's like, oh, Hop got fat again. But if you watch him again, and you see, like, his pecs and his traps and stuff are actually still kind of big and stuff, but he just put on weight because he had to look fat for the role.
Yeah. You can tell that dude's just a big guy.
Yeah, he's always been heavy, but he got in really good shape for Hellboy, which sucked, by the way. Hellboy wasn't good.
Yeah, you can tell he just looks like somebody that was an ex-football player. They just stopped lifting, but they still have that foundation of muscle.
If you get a chance, if I find it, I'll send it to you. But if you get a chance, look up his headshots from when he first started acting. Holy crap, it's hilarious. He's got like long hair and stuff.
Yeah, he. I seen a Q&A with him and Winona, and he was talking about his name, and he's like, I got the waspiest name ever. Because my middle name is Kenneth.
David Kenneth.
Yeah. But yeah, he's...
Speaking of names, fucking Billy's real name.
Doc Ray? Is it Docker?
You know what? I didn't know what it was. I had to search high and low on the internet to find out. It's pronounced the same way as the word acre would be, but with a D at the beginning. So it's... Dacre Montgomery.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He was in the Power Rangers reboot a couple years ago. He played the Red Ranger.
Why does that make all the sense in the world?
And I actually ended up liking that movie because it was, it was based on the Power Rangers movie, but it was more realistic. It was, it's like they're angsty teens, and Bryan Cranston was in it playing Zordon.
Be cool to see the original Pink Ranger getting finger blasted.
Yeah, Amy Jo Johnson.
Whatever.
She was hot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that headshot. I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah, I want to see David Kenneth.
But to wrap it up, it was a pretty good season.
It was.
I liked it a lot.
Very good season.
I hope we don't have to wait another 20 months for a new season.
Yeah. So
I hope it's a lot quicker this time.
Do you have a hot take you can ramble on about? So while I pee and get a, you know what? I can hit pause on here though.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything right now. Just go ahead.
Wait, I don't know if I can hit pause. Can I?
Guess we'll find out.
I don't know. Hold on. Which brings us to our next subject: the Area 51 storming.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
I want to tell you fucking nerds something first off. You're going to have to trek through a lot of desert to get there because there's roadblocks and shit where you just ain't going to be able to get it that close. So that's going to get rid of a big chunk of you. But here's the thing, though. You're doing it on the...
That desert's going to kill your asthma.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's a dryer
It would
heat.
actually help it.
Yeah, it would help.
It would help me.
So maybe that makes them a little bit stronger, and they do make it through.
But I just want, there's 300,000 that signed that they're going to storm the Area 51.
Oh, I thought it got up to 400, over 400.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want is 400,000 MPs there to give out wedgies, you fucking nerds, because you ain't getting in that goddamn base.
No.
They'll cut the feed. Whatever equipment you have to film yourself being killed, they'll just jam that signal. You will not be... your death will not be recorded.
They're like, they can't stop us all. And I'm here to say they absolutely can stop you all. It's the military.
Yeah, it is a Cold War base. It was designed to keep the Russians out. Your little skinny ass ain't getting in that base.
Ain't happening.
And like I was telling someone else about this, is it's based on it. It is a Cold War base. Look, I used to love all that shit. I listened to Art Bell, Coast to Coast. I loved all that paranormal shit.
Oh yeah,
and I still do. I can suspend disbelief and listen to it like I would pro wrestling. I can enjoy it for what it is, but the reality is there's no aliens. There's no fucking way there's aliens. They tested. The reason they were so secretive, it's where they tested aircraft during the Cold War. There probably isn't even that much staff there anymore. They probably left, a lot of it left, and probably in the 90s.
Probably, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying there's no one there. I mean, we have a base here that's not as active as it used to be, but it's still active. There's people there,
yeah,
but it's not what it was.
No, not at all.
And it's where they tested the stealth bomber and the stealth fighter. That's the main purpose of that base. And
listen, we talked about we've talked about him before, and I finally watched the special, that Bob Lazar guy. I don't think Bob Lazar is lying about some of the technology and stuff there. It's top secret technology. I actually kind of believe a lot of, I don't know about some of the propulsion systems and the Element 115 or whatever the hell it is he talks about, all this other stuff. There's probably shit there that we've never seen before, and we'll probably never see. I don't deny that. But there isn't aliens there. There's no aliens there.
No.
They did not recover a bunch of... Because when I first watched it, I thought he said that they had 9 saucers that we built. It was 9. Then I rewatched it, and it was like 9 that we got, that we found. He doesn't know where they came from, but they were alien spacecrafts, and that's what we reverse engineered from to try to make some of this technology. There's no way we recovered 9 different alien ships.
So these guys traveled through wormholes at speeds that make light speed look like a fucking street sweeper, because that's the only way they could ever get here.
Yeah.
But they just can't steer through the mountains. Oh shit, we're crashing!
It gets pretty hazy and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, we got all this technology, but man, your mountains are real tough.
What if they didn't count on our atmosphere being, some of the air, our oxygen and stuff? They weren't counting on that, and that's poisonous to them.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I don't know.
But the thing is, because I was telling you, I listened to a lot of Coast to Coast and all that stuff over the years.
Yeah.
And I listened to Art Bell interview with Bob Lazar, and I forgot the writer's name. It's a guy that wrote one of his books or several of his books.
I don't know who that guy was. I only know the current one.
And Bob Lazar kept forgetting shit and had to revert and ask his writer, well, what did I say? So you don't know what happened in your own life, but a guy that wrote the book for you, he remembers everything because Bob has a quote-unquote bad memory.
Which is weird because now...
Oh, yeah, you got a genius IQ, and he does. He is a legit engineer. He has credentials.
Yeah.
He has credentials. He's an engineer. Bob Lazar is not a dumbass. But he's fucking lying. That's why I can't remember shit. You're a liar, Bob.
And there is weird stuff in the story. Stuff that, not just from him, but from... talking about his credentials. He claimed to have worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory where, they did all the atomic bomb stuff, and they developed it back in the 40s, and it's still one of the top laboratories in the country. He claimed to work there. And when the original story broke in 1989 about him, he was the guy that was blowing the lid off of Area 51, and they called him Dennis at that point. That was his code name.
I remember that.
Yep. He claimed to work these places, and when they called and tried to get verification that he worked at these places, they're like, no, we don't have any, we never had any employees named this. And they're like, oh, here we go. This guy's lying. But then they found an old directory, like they call it a phone book. It's basically everybody's extensions at the laboratory. And he was in there. But no one there could remember him. But he's somehow in this directory. So I don't know if they just couldn't find his record, or somebody had tried to make it look like he was lying. So I don't know how credentialed he is, because a lot of it, he says he went to MIT too, but they're like, oh, we don't have any record of him.
I can't remember the whole debunking point by point or any points of it at all. But there's a guy that runs a YouTube channel called DankNet. D-A-N-K. D-A-N-K. I'm not drunk or anything. DankNet.
Kevin.
But he I totally deserve that.
That's okay. I'm sorry.
No, I do. I deserve. But he he has a whole video about Lazar, and it's like the longest video I've ever seen this guy do.
Yeah.
Because he usually shits on, like, the Drachenlord and all those Big Lenny and a lot of the internet crazies that there are, Del Rey Misfits and stuff. But he did Bob Lazar, and it's basically stuff that I want to say, but I have no talent. Like, I don't have the talent to, like, put together a video and, like, prove it.
Did he basically rip him a new one, but basically call him a liar, or did he actually...
He called him pretty much a liar.
I have some issues, and like I said, I just watched a documentary today, and I actually watched an interview with him and the movie maker, Jeremy, that's his name, I can't remember his last name, and they did an interview on Larry King at the beginning of the year, and but I watched that before, and I watched the actual documentary today, and they're like, lots of weird stuff. He got raided twice by the FBI in the time I was making this movie. Like, all right, well, I guess it makes sense. But they're like, there's a scene where they show him go out to the woods in a remote area of Lazar's homestead. I don't know what you want to call it, where he lives, which is here in Michigan, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives here now. But they went out and they're having a conversation, and Bob wasn't sure if he wanted to record part of this thing. He's like, here's what I'll do. I'm going to record it with this. And he had like a Zoom recorder, and then he had the video. And he's like, we'll do two separate things. And if you don't want to use it, we won't use it. We'll lock it away in the vault. We won't ever use it. And then they had a conversation. And then they're like, when the FBI raided the place the next day, they directly talked about the conversation we had, like they were monitoring us through our phones. But there was no proof that happened. They just said it happened.
Yeah. No, him saying it happened matters.
Yeah, it happened. They directly quoted something that we talked about in private the day before.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But they offered up no proof. Now, the FBI did raid him twice, his place in Michigan, because he has a store in Michigan, too. They said they were looking.
I don't believe that. I mean, I don't doubt that, rather.
Well, they said they raided him, though, because of receipts from a former customer. They were trying to find this former customer who did some legal stuff. But according to him, there was 58 agents there from different organizations, different agencies. Again, though, there's no proof there was that many. It's not on camera. There is a report that showed that, because they have to, talk with local authorities. He did get raided. It was true.
Again, I'm going off of completely invalid evidence, which is just my own gut. And that is the Art Bell interview with him. Those you guys look up DankNet, Bob Lazar first. That was what I was talking about before. Or the Art Bell Bob Lazar. The Art Bell Bob Lazar, Art's playing along, or Art never corrected anybody. He was trying to put together a paranormal show, so he just let you say your piece. His job wasn't to debunk you. Just have you on, say what you got to say. Then he would ask questions and try to kind of fish through whether he thought you were full of shit or not, but he didn't. He wasn't there to really debunk you. Just say your piece. You can do you can look at the video where he's being grilled by DankNet, or a guy that was more just kind of letting him do his own thing, and he looks horrible in both.
Yeah.
The guy that made the Netflix one that everyone's talking about is a UFO believer.
Yeah, he's already going in there believing.
Yeah, so he's going in. He wants to prove.
And he's a protege of the guy who did the original one back in 1989. He said that he's the guy who mentored him through the industry and helped him learn all this stuff. So he's always had a fascination with his story. So you're going in believing everything this guy's saying already. That's.
I remember when I used to bring up all this paranormal stuff, because I used to be into all of it. And my dad didn't judge me either way, but he had his own beliefs. He's like, he'd be like, Mike, you're going to believe in all this horse shit. Why don't you just give your soul to Jesus and just shut up?
That's true, though.
He goes, it's just easier. I'm like, yeah, I know. But I never did that either.
Didn't do that either, no.
But his point was that you're going, like, instead of going into that bullshit, come into my bullshit. It's simple. It's easier. That was just basically.
I don't know about easier.
Yeah. I have to quit drinking.
Yeah, see, that's harder.
But I can drink and be a UFO person.
Yeah.
And
so that's why
totally
it's better.
Buy all of it.
There was a lot of stuff. There was interesting stuff about it, the documentary. But when I found out that Jeremy, what is his last name? Corbell, something like that.
Yeah.
He's the guy who made the documentary. When I found out that he was mentored and trained by George Knapp, who did the original 1989 Bob Lazar Dennis interview.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. That's why.
Yeah, this makes total sense.
And then the guy who did the hypnosis on Bob to try to get stuff out of him, the Lane Keck, I think his name was, wouldn't even go on camera. He did some phone interviews, but he wouldn't go on camera. And Bob's story about getting shot at multiple times. And
the hypnosis thing, too. I remember that was like the default of all them 90s conspiracy shows. Because there was a period where it was on major networks. In fact, Bob Lazar outed himself as Bob Lazar on one of them networks. What was that show? There was a show we used to watch. and it was all the paranormal shit, all of it. It covered it all.
Well,
And I'm not talking about Unsolved Mysteries either. That was obviously Unsolved Mysteries covered it. In Search of did too, with Leonard Nimoy. But I'm talking about there was like a show that was like the most recent one that was on network TV, like the late '90s. He was Bob Lazar by that time. He didn't hide.
Yeah,
who
he
was.
basically outed himself early '90s.
Okay.
Not long after the documentary went out, or the original interview went out, the Dennis interview, as I call it.
Yeah, the Dennis. I remember the Dennis interviews, but then Dennis, Dennis was, became a thing.
He quickly became Bob Lazar after that. But that interview was huge, and I don't remember it. I'm just now kind of hearing about it. But the Dennis interview was huge. They aired it all over the world. People circulated videotape copies of it. And according to one person, they even showed it in some movie theaters because people were like so into that interview.
Really?
Yeah, that's according to George Knapp. Again, he's a guy who it was his interview.
Yeah, my interview was so sought after.
And he wasn't. That part wasn't wrong. The movie theater thing, I'm thinking,
Yeah, it's like the guy, like every girl I ever fucked came 9 times. Every girl I ever fucked just creamed. Had to fucking change the bed sheets, just drenched.
Did you see
Snap? I'm sorry.
Did you watch the Netflix document? That one?
No, I haven't. That's the thing. I'm going on and shitting on it. I haven't watched it.
No, you're basing it on a lot more than I am. I've only watched 2 things about the guy, and it was more modern stuff. I didn't watch any of the older stuff.
See, wait, I'm coming at the Bob Lazar story from someone that used to be a believer. So I want everyone to understand that. I was someone that, because I wanted it to be real, I wanted aliens to have been here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted it more than anything because it's just way cooler than it's just us, you know? And but over time, and it was, again, I keep going back to it, it was the Art Bell interview. When Art Bell interviewed, I'm like, man, this guy's bullshitting. He's fucking
if we
lying.
can find that, we should share it on the page.
Yeah, and Art Bell was not someone confronting him like to debunk him. It was just like, here, say what happened. Asking him questions, and he was fucking failing to give answers over and over again. And the guy that wrote his book was doing the answering for him. It's like, dude, you can't go to the bad memory excuse. I have a bad memory, but that's
what you said before. He said he had a bad memory. Watching this thing, though, he's like recounting everything. He remembers everything that happened, and in a set-up environment with takes and edits, you can look real great. Yeah, and that's my problem with it. In a interview with somebody it's live time, I don't know. He did in Art Bell. I wouldn't even say Art Bell was a believer of any of that shit. I just think he just gave people a platform. Here, what happened to you? Yeah. And he did say on Larry King he believed his guest, but he never he never like went all in with him. He would occasionally, well, what do you mean this and that? And I don't know. It's. By the way, I could go on about Art Bell all fucking night. I love that show. See, the thing is, though, it's still fun. I think that's more of an episode. I'll still watch the Lazar thing and enjoy it, and I'll watch Art. I'll listen to an Art Bell YouTube binge and enjoy every bit of it, knowing it's fake because it doesn't matter. Like pro wrestling, I'm just looking to be entertained. I like stories. Your Art Bell idea would be better if Craig were here. So wait till Craig comes here and then talk about it. Yeah. And then I've never listened to it. People would call in. I'll just real quick because I will save it for Craig. But people would call in and be like, Art, I'm from the future. Oh, God, yeah. And he'd be like, well, in the future, what sort of society is there? And the guy would be like, well, I'm actually an whatever. And he would just go on to this big fucking bullshit story, and Art would just goad him to keep going. But anyway, it was crap. Yeah, some of the stuff I know, but I don't know if I've ever listened to an entire episode of it. Man. No. Well, he passed away recently too. Yeah. Didn't he have a compound and stuff? He did. He had a compound. Arizona? This isn't even paranormal. You want to listen to something that will fucking rip your guts out, just the saddest thing, and it was awful to listen to.
and I happened upon it just looking for his back catalog of crazy shit. Listen to Art Bell describe the night his wife died.
Oof.
Because he is such a good storyteller.
Yeah.
And he goes into full detail. She had asthma. They were in an RV somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And he's just trying to keep her alive because she had really, not like asthma like I got, like asthma where severe,
you got to get treatment soon.
You'll die asthma. And they were adventurer types, and they were somewhere, and man, Art Bell's wife dying, when he describes it, it is fucking horrible.
He isn't like, my blue wife.
No, he just matter
He's
of
not
fact.
shattering it up.
No.
Okay.
No, he just describes it like point by point.
Oh, God.
I'm an Art Bell fan. I'm a Coast to Coast fan. I like paranormal podcasts. I listen to several of them. Mm-hmm. There's a really new one that I'll be looking at. I'll give the name of it one day.
Okay.
But there's one I'm really liking right now. And I think he's an up-and-comer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I might have told you about him earlier.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get it. Anyway.
He's just kind of getting off the ground, though. We'll
he's
wait.
getting it going.
So
yeah.
Once he gets it going, then we'll bring it up.
We'll talk about that guy.
But
anyway, yeah.
I'll have to listen to that.
Anything by Art Bell is great.
And I don't know why I never got into it because I was always into that stuff, but just like, I think I got to the point where I just kind of thought, like, no matter what, even if they're telling me a good story with solid knowledge and it sounded, I just automatically thought they were lying and they were full of shit.
Well, it's probably because they were.
And it's probably because of the X-Files, because I watched that and it's like, yeah, they make everybody seem like quirky and I got to the point where I just didn't believe any of it. Even though I do kind of believe it, I just didn't believe those people.
I did when I was younger. And I mean, I'm not talking about child. I mean, as a young adult, I still had a lot of, like, I think this is real. I think this really happened. But what kind of killed it was...
Dim.
What kind of killed it was when it got, like, over the top with the David Icke, reptilians. The
reptilians.
Yeah, and it just, like, okay, this is too much. So I was like,
I understand
all right.
that.
Yeah, but there was a time where I believed not all of it, but I believed enough of it to where I could enjoy it. But I don't know. I'm going to go back on Art Bell Bender because I just like his voice and the storytelling. It was just fun.
That's the thing. It's I could still listen to that stuff and be entertained. It's just I don't believe most of it.
Well, another thing too, talking about the paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing that I still to this day, like, it kind of creeps me out, and when I was about 13, 14, remember Time Life put out the series Mysteries of the Unexplained?
The commercials for it?
Yeah.
The creepiest fucking shit ever.
It scared me to death. And,
oh, my God.
And Frank had the books.
Yeah.
And the thing that fucking freaked me out, and it just scared me to death, was the gray aliens.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know anything about any of that. And I was like a kid, and I saw the gray aliens, and I was like, I think it was Ben, Frank's brother. I was like, what the hell is this? He's like, those are gray aliens. And I go, like, I'm like, from like a movie, he goes, no, they're real. I'm like, what?
They're completely real.
And I totally, like, freaked out. And I couldn't even look at a picture of a gray alien without having a panic attack till I was like 20.
Man, those were the eeriest, scariest commercials. I don't know what it was about them. They just creeped the fuck out of me.
Yeah, or that guy that's like working at the pyramids at Giza and he gets zapped.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like just somehow just a bolt of energy comes. Yeah.
It was the aliens.
Yeah, well, that's all tied in.
It's all tied in.
That's when, remember, again, I don't want to take Craig. We'll get Craig in here.
No, it's fine. You can still talk about it.
But the ancient aliens, when they jumped the ship.
Ugh.
They jumped the ship when they tried to tie it all together, like Bigfoot and the fucking UFOs is all kind of one thing or whatever.
You know what?
It got ridiculous.
It was when I knew that show had jumped when I watched it for the first time and I saw Giorgio Tsoukalos in his hair and it's just like, and I'm like looking at the guy. I'm like, that dude's full of shit.
Yeah, stop acting ignorant. When
ignorant,
he said, not ignorant.
And then I look up the guy, and like he went to like Ithaca College in New York, and has a background in sports management and shit.
Yeah, and
His background is in nothing to do with any of the stuff he's supposed to be an expert in.
yeah, and
Which
then,
isn't saying anything because, I mean, there's probably a lot of people who are just have made it into their career, which I have no problem with. You don't need to have a degree to show me that you are. You can be an archaeologist as long as you've done the work. I don't care if you have a degree or not. As long as you've done the work and you've been there and you've done the digs and you actually know what you're doing. You know?
yeah. Technically, now I couldn't teach myself physics because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But someone who's got a high IQ that could never afford college could go online and watch some physics. What do they call it? Presentations.
Yeah.
And watch enough hours of it where, yes, there are people that can teach themselves physics online.
Oh, I absolutely believe that.
And-
So that's
but I can't because I have a normal IQ. But an intelligent person that it sinks in with could absolutely do it.
yeah, and not to say that just because Giorgio Tsoukalos, I don't know how to pronounce his name, not to say that he isn't now an expert in that field because he's put the
but
work in.
He's an idiot.
But look at his stupid hair. There's
Yeah.
no way that guy's an expert in anything.
Yeah, his hair. It's like he's like Don King. Your hair discredits you.
It really does.
It's kind of like how
I don't think he's as discredited. I just hate Don King.
Yeah.
I don't hate Giorgio. I just don't like. I don't want to listen to him anymore.
like Al Sharpton. I wanted to punch that hair.
Oh my god, that hair.
I don't even care what you believe, Al. Your fucking hair is bad.
It's so bad. It was like
Fucking shitty ass.
James
hair.
Brown bad.
It's like in fucking. I don't know what the fuck do you put in that shit to make it like that.
The Farrah Fawcett spray. Like,
Can he do that with a fro though?
No, I don't know.
He mashed that fro down.
I don't know what he
Somehow.
did.
I don't know how he did that.
It's
Fuck
whatever.
your hair, Al. He died, didn't he?
Did Al Sharpton die?
I don't know.
No, I thought he lost a bunch of weight. Did he actually end up dying?
I don't know. I just hate his hair.
Oh yeah, surprise, surprise! It's July 13th, and my neighbor, people, the next street over, are still shooting off fireworks.
By the way, if you're shooting off fireworks now, I hate you, and I want you put into a prison, and I want you fucking like a work labor camp, Hitler style. That's what you deserve. Fucking lighting off fireworks now. I mean, you had a whole week. Can't you stop? Fucking.
I don't get it. And this guy just started again last night, shooting off fireworks around the block for me. And it's not like little stuff. It's the airborne, big, huge booming stuff. I live 2 blocks away from the police department. How come the police can't just drive? Literally, the police could see the fireworks from their station if they just looked like to the west, right? West. Just, hey, there's fireworks. I can see them right there. They're obviously within 1 or 2 blocks of where I currently stand. Let me drive my police cruiser over there and give the guy his $1,000 fine.
Nope.
Fuck.
Fuck your fireworks, man.
So my wife,
I lit off fireworks on the 4th.
so my wife, who has to be up at 2:45 to be to work by 4, is not sleeping right now because you're shooting off your stupid fireworks
Yeah,
illegally.
that woman is being tortured.
I mean,
Tortured.
she could come home tomorrow at noon and sleep for like 4 hours if she wanted to, but
Doesn't
that's not the
matter.
point.
She needs to sleep now.
She needs sleep now. And the dogs are going nuts.
Yeah, and then not one of these people like, hey, it's the animals.
That's why aliens will never come here, because stupid fireworks people. Fireworks are to blame.
Yeah, we can't have interplanetary communication because you fuckers won't stop lighting up fireworks.
Yeah. Which segue into the back into this. Bob Lazar makes fireworks.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, he makes fireworks. He's been doing it for years. It was a hobby, and now he does it. And does it. I think he sells them out of his shop here in Michigan.
Oh wow.
You want to drive to a shop one day?
Yeah, because I want to walk up to him like, Bob, I think you're an all right guy, and you gave a lot of people hope, and you're an interesting character, but you are a goddamn liar.
You're lying.
You're a fucking liar.
No, seriously. It's like it's only an hour and a half.
Where does he live?
It's just outside Lansing.
Oh.
It's just outside, and then on the other side is 69. It's called Langsburg.
You're a liar, Bob.
Langsburgs. It's in Shiawassee County, if that helps you at all.
Oh, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, so you know where
'Cause I
23 comes in just to the east of Lansing, and then 69 comes into 23 at one point. It's
I know
north of 69 and east of 23.
I know exactly where that is.
Small town.
I thought 23, that would be by Flint, though.
23 runs from Flint to Lansing, though.
No, 69 does. 23 goes all the way up to...
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Wait, 23...
Is it maybe 157?
No, I swear to God it was 23.
No, 23 becomes Flint at 69. That's Flint.
I'm going to look on the map again. Either way, he lives not far away.
Drink the water in Flint, Bob. You liar. Talking to you, Bob. Stop lying to people.
More like Bob Lazar. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
he.
Stupid.
I remember when he wasn't Dennis anymore, and he's like working on drag race cars.
Well, he did that before. He was doing that in the earlier 80s and stuff, and that was kind of what...
I just mean on the Sci-Fi Channel
Oh,
special
yeah, okay.
or whatever the fuck
he did that
was on.
forever, though. He started doing that when he was a teenager, basically.
You're a liar, Bob!
I'm sorry.
I want to reiterate that.
I said 23, and I did mean 127.
Yeah, it's the middle part of the state.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know where Ovid is?
Yeah, I do.
It's south of Ovid, but north of Shaftesbury.
So I had a couple deliveries back in the day. I had one in a town called Hillsdale.
Oh, Hillsdale's further south, though, isn't it?
But it was near 127.
Yeah, but 127 runs all the way almost to the border, I think.
Same thing. It goes all the way to Houghton Lake, basically. It goes up, keeps going, actually, beyond that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Whatever. Nobody cares about our stupid geography. They don't care about mine.
Because that was actually, we had to hit that and then catch something else when we went up to my daughter's friends in Interlaken. No, we didn't. We crossed it. Never mind. We didn't actually take 127 for anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I just...
That's where Claire is.
Yeah.
So Frank knows where that's at.
So I wanted to change subject a little bit.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, back when I was young, actually, you used to lift weights with me. You did it for a while.
I did a couple times.
Yeah. It was me, you, and your brother. And I wasn't always a complete slob. I used to lift weights a lot. And
yeah.
I enjoyed it very much. So I know I kind of still follow the community, even though I don't even really lift anymore because everything hurts.
Yes.
And but you know, have you heard of the? You might not have, but the lifting community will know a man named Lee Priest.
I know Lee Priest.
He has tattoos on his face. He's a very, very noteworthy lifter.
I know of him.
Okay, so you know how Gold's gym it's like the biggest gym. It's considered the mecca of bodybuilding. It is the gym of all gyms in Venice Beach, California.
Yes,
it's where Arnold trained. It's where it all started. The whole thing.
Yep.
Everything you see today, it's Gold's Venice. But it's gone so corporate. Now Lee is from Australia, but he lived in Venice for many years when he was a Mr. Olympia competitor. And his picture is literally on the wall. He is a bodybuilding, he's bodybuilding royalty.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you'd have Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture at the UFC, whatever, their gym, right?
Yes.
So Lee Priest hasn't been here in years because he had a falling out with the bodybuilding IFBB and he got banned, a lifetime ban. I don't even remember why. He is kind of crazy. No, he's a funny guy. He's actually hilarious. By the way, follow anything by Lee Priest on YouTube. You'll laugh your ass off because he's got a good sense of humor. Anyway, he came back to Venice for the first time in years, and he went into Gold's to train, and he wasn't expecting handouts or anything, but they charged him and his wife $80 for a day pass to train
for
there.
A day?
For a day pass, and he's like, and he kind of mentions like, yeah, I'm on the wall here, like. He's one of the people that, like, the foundational people that for the gym, he's like he's royalty. And, like, you figure, like, because when the whole point of letting someone train for free in your gym is, like, fuck, Lee Priest is here. People are going to come up, and then the word's going to get out on social media, and everyone's going to come up there.
Yeah.
And pay their $40 because fucking Lee Priest is training there. And,
was it $80 a person for a day pass?
40.
Okay, so $80 total.
$80 for him and his wife.
Either way, man.
So, and they were like... And he kind of explained who he was, and they're like, well, it's our policy. Anyway, so people were up in arms about like Lee Priest fucking having to pay to go train at a gym that he basically helped make famous.
Don't you know who I am?
He didn't do that. He
No.
did not do that.
I would have.
Yeah. Well, and it gets even worse. So there's two strong men, Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall. They've won the strongest men in the world. Brian is like a 4 or 5 time winner, and Eddie is a 1-time winner, and they're well known in the lifting community.
Yeah, I've heard of Shaw.
They went there like a couple days, the same week all this happened, and they went there, and again they were like they weren't looking for a handout or anything, but they were kind of like, hey, I'm Brian Shaw, and because I think they were more concerned about like getting their film guy in there. Like, we're going to train at Gold, can our buddy with the camera film or whatever? And they were giving him shit or something. I don't know how it happened, but they had to say, well, I'm Brian Shaw, and this is Eddie Hall, and we've won the strongest man in the world contest, and, like, we don't know who you are.
Oh, my God.
So, I guess my point is, Gold's Gym is so corporate and such a tourist thing that the people working there don't even know who the legends
they're not.
of the lifting are.
You should see, just looking from want ads and stuff, literally anybody can work at these gyms. It doesn't matter. You don't have to know anything.
So you have someone like who works at a gym that doesn't know who Lee Priest is, doesn't know who Brian Shaw or Eddie Hall is. What the fuck are they even doing there? Now, I know you're saying they're just hiring whoever they can hire, but god damn, you should get somebody that has some idea.
There should be somebody on the floor that has an idea of who somebody is, a manager or something.
Yeah. Now, it's one thing if it's a Planet Fitness in Spokane,
especially if it's the one in Venice where it started.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not talking about like a Planet Fitness in Spokane, Washington, or Des Moines. I'm talking
there's
about
a Gold's
the Mecca.
Gym like 4 miles away from here. You don't expect somebody to walk in there.
So anyways, corporate realized what a PR nightmare this was because all the fans of these guys. So basically, they sent an email to Lee, like, any Gold's Gym anywhere in the world, from now on, anywhere you go on planet Earth, you train at Gold's Gym free.
Get like a black card service.
Yeah. So hopefully there's a Gold's Gym in Australia, and he's just fucking ain't gonna pay shit.
There probably is one on the Gold Coast.
Yeah. So
probably not though.
So it just goes that like. When things go corporate, man, it can be good in ways, but but like you're saying, it's Venice. How would you, you would think anybody that wanted that job in the Gold's Venice would be like, dude, as a lifting, even if they're not like a competitor themselves, they'd be like almost like a historian. Like, somebody I get to work at fucking Gold's Venice. I'd be like, holy shit, Lee Priest is here. Holy shit, Brian Shaw. And you let the big names train for free because it draws people in because. You just send out the text, hey, dude, Lee Priest is here. And the Lee Priest video, he has people just mobbing him. I'm like...
Yeah. That doesn't make... Especially if it's that kind of destination, the one that they're known for, that's what put them on the map. Yeah. I just don't understand.
People come from all over the world.
Is that where it got the name Muscle Beach?
Exactly, yeah. The Muscle Beach is actually... Just gym that's on the beach outside.
I didn't know if they were connected to Gold's or not.
No,
just the area is known for the gyms and stuff.
It's where bodybuilding started. It's just because everyone year round the weather's nice, so everybody can have the shirt off.
It just made me something. It made me think of something stupid from Saved by the Bell. Screech came in with like a muscle suit on. And he's like, they call me Muscle Screech from Muscle Beach. That stupid shit.
Screech from Muscle.
Yeah, and he was trying to look. He had a fake suit on, and obviously, it wasn't real muscles. It was just Screech, being Screechy.
Yeah, that guy ended up beating the shit out of Warshak.
He's a piece of crap too.
You know the funny thing that I heard about the where he beat up Warshak?
Yeah,
Ron Larver. They had kind of an agreement because Larver was like a lot older that they weren't gonna do headshots or something, and Screech just starts teeing off on a guy like 30 years older than him. Thunk, 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 thunk.
That's great.
Oh man, but I don't know, man.
That'd be like the comparison to me was thinking, especially in like L.A., like the Guitar Center there is like the first one. They got the Guitar Center Walk of Fame where they have all the musicians on the sidewalk around it and stuff. That'd be like somebody let me think of somebody. Dave Grohl walks in to Guitar Center. And he's like, yeah, I just want to, just do a little thing, play the drums, play some guitar and stuff. They're like, nope. $40.
It's our policy.
It's our policy. Sorry. He's like, well, I'm kind of on the wall here. Nope. It'd be like same thing. The Guitar Center isn't like that though, because they have that Walk of Fame. There's always somebody there who knows. Obviously, most of us are going to know who Dave Grohl is if he just walks in the door.
Yeah.
Not everybody know who Lee Priest is.
Yeah, but the thing is about...
But at Gold's Gym, they should know.
They should know. It's like the general population has no idea who Lee Priest is.
No. But especially that Gold's Gym where he's actually on the wall.
The funny thing is about like the thing about like so Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall were kind of shitting on Gold's because it becomes so corporate. They're at the squat rack and you're thinking like two of the strongest men that ever lived, and the squat rack only has them rubber plates that are like motivation plates.
What?
Like that they weigh like a third of what they look like they weigh, and he's like. And they're like trying to get a workout with it, and they're so strong. So they're like loading all the plates because you can't bring the steel plates there anymore. And they're loading all these things on, and then it does their clamps don't fit because
God,
it was just a joke, man.
Sounds like a disaster.
Gold's Venice fucking sucks. You guys got to change it, man. Because like the stories from the old Gold's gym days are insane, fucking insane.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And one story I heard a guy talk about remember the Barbarian Brothers? Yep. They were so like out of control. Like when they trained, they would like make people hit them and stuff. And there was this huge black guy that was a bodybuilding competitor, and his name was Mike Christian. And everybody said Christian was a good guy, but if you got him mad, he'd kill you. Yeah. And they were like trying to get people to like the Barbarian Brothers were trying to get people to like smack them so they get motivated. And they went up to one guy, come on, smack me in the face, and the guy's like kind of like kind of not hitting them real hard because he's like, I don't really want to do this. He's like, come on, hit me in the face. And then they look at Mike Christian and they go, get over here, Christian, you fag. And they were like insulting him. And then they called him the other word that you don't call a black person.
No.
And to get him to come over, and they said. So Christian runs over and just fucking punches him, not slaps him, just punches him and knocks him completely out. And then his twin brother goes, "Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's what we want." Like
he's to be knocked out.
Yeah, he's like,
what the hell?
He knocks his brother out, and he was like totally all about it, like because their thing about training was like you go create balls of the wall and try to kill yourself, and so Mike Christian knocked one of the Barbarian Brothers out.
That's what I'm talking about. Knock us out.
Yeah.
So we can't work out anymore because we're knocked out.
Yeah, because you're unconscious because you called someone a racial epithet.
Oh, my God. He must have given them the pass to say it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he knocked him out. I guess he didn't give him the pass.
No. Well, he was their friend, but he still was like, all right, you're going too far. I'm knocking you out. But,
that's great. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, it's I think Greg Valentino. He's the guy that Greg Valentino is the guy that shoots the
the hammer
synthol in his arms.
Greg the Hammer Valentino.
Yeah. He's the guy that had the ridiculously fake looking arms because he filled them full of whatever synthol to make them look bigger.
I don't think I know. I'll look him up.
But anyway, yeah. Anyway, Lee Priest, he got a lifetime membership to Gold's for free anywhere in the world. So that has to be honored.
Yeah, that's great. I wonder if they give him like a membership card, like a black card, like the American Express guys.
Well, I think most Gold's Gym would recognize him, but for some reason the Venice one didn't. So,
that's so stupid.
But whatever. But, real quick too. The last thing about the working out.
Yeah.
The two giant strongmen, because it's like how everything is all the stupid CrossFit and the box jumps.
Yeah.
So these two strongmen who are like 400 pounds each are like, let's do some box jumps. And the one guy goes to do it and he like missed. And he does it with like, I can't do this shit because they're just they're too big and heavy to do that stuff.
I mean, if they could do that, that'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah, the one's 400 pounds and the other is 450.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I don't think they.
How
were
they
gonna-
even move around? Well, I know they're muscles,
Yeah, it's
but
they're still just ridiculously huge.
that's great.
But anyway, that was the end of the.
Did you watch Gymkata?
No, I never did.
You've never seen it though.
I seen it, but it's been so long.
Same
that
with me. That's why I went back and rewatched it because it's been so long.
I just remember the one scene where the actor Kurt is something.
Kurt Thomas.
Yeah, Kurt Tom. Wasn't he like a silver medalist?
No, actually, he never got to do the Olympics because he wasn't old enough, or he wasn't doing it that well in '76. He was really good in '78 and '79, and then '80 we boycotted, and then by '84 he had done something that took away his amateur status, so he wasn't able to do '84.
Oh, okay.
But everybody's like, yeah, that's the dude that probably would have been the gold medalist in '80 if he had been there.
I just remember the scene where he's talking to some person or girl, I think.
Yeah,
And
the princess.
he was doing a flip to tell one like a point counterpoint while he's doing flips.
Yeah.
I remember that. for some
Holy
reason.
crap, that was the worst. Oh my god, I wanted to just kill him, and I wanted to go back in time to Gymkata and kill him.
Yeah.
He was like, he was pretending to be her and himself having a conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had to do the flip in order to show that he had changed characters.
Makes sense.
It makes sense, except it's terrible. That movie was like, because we were talking about the Don the Dragon Wilson and the Billy Blanks movies and stuff last week, which I've been watching a bunch of them. I've watched like 5 different Don the Dragon Wilson movies this week. Really good stuff. And
Absolutely.
it was good. Like, I watched the first 3 Blood Fists. I watched Black Belt. I watched Out for Blood. And then I watched
All cinematic greatness.
they're great. And they're free on Tubi TV, which is an actual free app that shows that kind of stuff. Anyways, so I've been watching those, and we brought that up, but then somebody else said, oh, after we did the show last week, someone said, you guys didn't bring up Gymkata, which disappointed myself because it's right up my alley. It's a fucking terrible movie, which I would, like to talk
And he's not
about.
even a martial artist. He just knows gymnastics.
A very good gymnastic guy. Gymnast is what they're called, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't, for some reason, I just, gymnastics type person.
He's a gymnastrian.
Gymnastrian. And I'm like, first I watched a trailer because, again, I haven't seen Gymkata in, like, no joke, it's probably like 25 years. It was so long ago I watched it the first time. So I was like, I'll watch the trailer because that looks like it'd be funny. And it is. It's a horrible trailer for a horrible movie. And then I posted on the page, and that literally, I wasn't joking, that was literally directed by the guy who directed Enter the Dragon.
Which was a very renowned, serious, well-liked movie.
Well-regarded martial arts movie, yes.
Yeah.
It's
In a critically acclaimed way, not like our way.
no, it's people, it's tops.
Ooh, I forgot to bring some up. All these shitty movies,
Yeah.
my 2 sisters affectionately called them Mike movies.
No, yeah, they're total Mike movies.
Anything that's bad, cheesy, but action, poorly acted, poorly scripted, but had action in it was a Mike movie named after me.
Well, and he made Game of Death also, which was the movie they ended up piecing together because Bruce Lee had died before they finished making it. So Game of Death, I think it was the one that they eventually put it together as a full movie, maybe. But this guy directed like one of the most classic martial arts films ever, and for some reason, all of a sudden, 1985, he's like, what if he was a gymnast also, and then did martial arts? Like, what? It was.
Well, it's one of those things that sounds good in theory. Yeah, he'll have the dexterity.
Yeah.
He can move. He can fight. But no, he can flip. It doesn't have anything to do with fighting itself. It's just flipping.
When he's doing the race, which is the main part of the movie where he's got to do the race, and if you win the race, I don't even remember what the prize was, but you got to win the race. But you got to go through all these different things and go across the gorge on ropes and evade these people, and then the last part is you have to make it through the town of crazies. There's all the crazy people are, and it's like they send all the psychotic people from their country into this one city, and they all live there. And it's got like walls so you can't get out, and like gates. And there's a part in that where it's in slow motion for so fucking long. I'm not joking. It had to be 6 minutes of slow motion where he's finally starting to get away from him. He's like, yeah, and he has to get away from him. He gets stuck in the alley and he climbs the walls. And I'm not exaggerating. I swear this thing is like 6 whole minutes of slow motion film. It made no fucking sense.
I don't even remember that.
I
gotta
didn't
watch
either.
it again.
I didn't either.
I gotta watch it again.
It's right after the pommel horse scene, where there's something in the middle of town right by the well that kind of resembles a pommel horse. You know, the big leather thing with the 2 handles sticking out of it.
Yeah.
And that conveniently the gymnast knows how to use, so he can use it to really kick ass with the gymkata. And he's just doing the pommel horse stuff, which again, it was like 2 full minutes of pommel horse ass kicking. It didn't make any sense. It's a really bad movie, almost to the point where it's not even so bad it's good. It's just bad. It's not even like Troll 2 where we love it.
It's just outright bad.
Yeah, I was bored out of my fucking mind most of the time.
I like that. Like, to avoid getting beat up on the pommel horse, all you have to do is not go near it. Like, he's doing the spinning and stuff.
They were doing the ninja movie thing one at a time. They were walking towards him. I was like, it's like, what we gotta do is all of us attack at the same time.
Yeah, God forbid you all keep distance and just throw shit at him.
They had pitchforks and shit, and they wouldn't throw the fucking pitchforks.
Yeah,
at him.
I'm gonna just charge at him on the pommel horse.
Ha! And you kick him in the face.
Now he's on the rings.
He must
now
have.
We gotta stop.
He must have kicked 40 different people in that scene. Just kept on kicking random people that walked up individually.
Hey, man.
It was so bad.
Hey, you know. Gymkata.
Gymkata, check it out. Or don't.
I gotta pee again. Hold on. That Gymkata, though. Great.
Gymkata. I was wondering something last week when I was over here. You're setting out the fireworks, but you were setting off fireworks, which is fine. But no one else should be able to.
No, just me.
Just you. You have that mast on your house still.
Oh, yeah.
That's not TV related, though. That was from your old radios and stuff, right?
Yeah, that was for, well, actually,
broadcasting.
That was when I was on FM 87.9 illegally.
Yeah.
But it also doubled. I could use it as a scanner antenna and pick up cell phone conversations, which I don't do anymore. Don't do that anymore.
Don't do that. But there's no TV capabilities with that. You could technically probably put an antenna at the top of it if you wanted to.
Yeah, oh, sure. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm a cord cutter. I don't have cable at all. All I have is internet and then some antennas and streaming stuff, basically. And that just made me think, I'm like, man, he'd probably get some good channels if we put an antenna at the top of that thing.
Oh, absolutely. See, I built a UHF VHF antenna out of a coat hanger and a 2x4.
Yeah.
That is in my attic. And I picked up a ton of channels with it. And what people don't realize is you will not get a better HD TV signal than that raw over-the-air signal. You'll have a better picture.
Well, most of the TVs in my house do have. No one watches the antenna TV. It's just the Netflix, the Hulu, YouTube because my kids. I use Frank's login for a few different things on using Xfinity, some of the streaming apps. But only one TV actually has an antenna hooked up to it, like its own separate antenna. And it's just this little thing. It's one of the ones you can attach to your wall or your window or whatever. And they've changed some of the over-the-air frequencies, and they're going to do it over the next couple of years because they're trying to make more room for more broadband type stuff. So your cell phone and everything.
Yeah.
So you have to, every couple of months, basically rescan your channels to see if you're still picking up the best signal. So I did it the other day on this TV, and it's, again, just on a window. It's just, running to the window. But it's on this window on this side of the house, but it's facing this direction. So it's on the inside of the house, of the window,
Sure.
Same thing with you. If you ever did it, the best direction for you to point this antenna is like basically kind of towards the middle school that's over there.
Okay, yeah.
So I just did this, and I rescanned real quick, and I picked up 54 fucking channels.
Wow.
Some of them look like shit, so I had to rescan again. But I still picked up 54.
Well,
there's so much crap on there, man. If I had that thing up another 20 feet, I don't know how many channels I would have picked up. And outside?
Absolutely. Yeah, see,
it's crazy.
I'm thinking about buying an outdoor antenna
I
and
honestly,
put it on there because, like, I'm getting to the point where the internet and everything. I want to go over the air. I want to get another CB. I want to go back.
go back in time.
Yeah, even though I gave away and sold all my CB equipment, they have an antenna called you know how I had the Wilson 1000, which
Yeah.
Frank, I gave that to Frank. Well, they have something called a Lil Lil Will,
Okay.
and I'll put that on top of my F-150, and I want to get a just little 40 channel, like little tiny little Uniden radio, and
Yeah.
then maybe a little booster, and maybe talk a little skip with it, because if atmospheric conditions are just right, you can talk far distance on a CB radio.
I don't remember the furthest we talked. We got some distance a few times.
I got to Florida and Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got any.
Well, remember at one point you had it set up on the desk at your grandmother's house downstairs, and we would talk when we were watching stuff. Like, we'd just stop and we'd talk on it, and we were getting some distance with that thing, man.
Yeah, but I got my most distance when I put that Antron 99 on top of my parents' house.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it just became like it was like no problem, like, because remember El Nino came through. El Nino made it basically where skip is something you would get here and there.
Yeah.
But when El Nino came, you had skip like every day.
Oh yeah, 'cause
for like a
atmosphere was-
summer, for
yeah.
an entire summer.
It was crazy.
And I heard guys in the Bahamas, I mean, all over the world on a regular CB radio that's supposed to talk like 10 miles tops.
yeah.
And I mean, but then I got into like trying to get the most distance I could, like outright without skip, and I would get, raise the antenna or more power, and I could get about, on the right day, I could get 30 miles, which was a lot.
Well, is that all mast out there, or is the top part of it the antenna?
That is an FM broadcasting antenna.
Okay.
I have not used that thing since the FCC showed up here.
Back in the day.
I think it was 2005 or 6. And I never had a problem with the FCC until Hurricane Katrina happened, and Frank and Bob were on my FM station making fun of the flood victims.
Oh God.
And I was like, yeah, I think that'll do it.
Well,
Anyway, I got my first complaint.
yeah.
And they were there.
And at that point, you're probably like, yeah, this isn't worth it.
Yeah. And then, well, the thing is, I had 25 watts. So if you continued on, they fine you $1,000 per watt.
Yes.
And you were only allowed like a quarter of a watt. So, it's $25,000.
Oh, see, I thought you were allowed anything under 1 watt, so you can go up to 0.99 watts.
No, you can't do a watt. But I could have gotten away with a watt because it would only been, a couple miles maybe that you'd get out of it.
Yeah.
But when I bought that booster and then I raised my antenna 10 feet, that's when all of a sudden I had listeners.
Yeah.
They were like, I had a pay-as-you-go cell phone to cover my track, so I couldn't.
They call it a burner in the business. It's a burner.
Yep. But it was pay-as-you-go back then, and they would call, and then it was a lot of fun, man. It was like we were doing what we're doing now, but on FM. If you could imagine all the swearing and craziness of now, but we were probably even worse because we were younger.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So you imagine our behavior times 10, add, not our lowered testosterone that we have because we're old as fuck.
Low T.
Yeah. Add normal T. It was on FM, so it was a big thing because people would be listening and like, oh my God, these guys are talking this way on FM, and it was fun.
Well, it just, I wasn't expecting, I just, like I said, I just rescan, and my parents are the same way. My parents they have antennas, and then they have basically my stuff, my Netflix and Hulu, and then some of the streaming apps and stuff.
Sure.
But they're cord cutters also, because of the cost. I mean, $200 a month for cable and internet and stuff is just crazy. Now they've kind of changed the pricing, so you can probably get it cheaper. I just got sick of it. But just this antenna in general, it's just a little tiny thing. I think I paid $7 for it. Just sticks right to your window. And then when I got all those channels, I'm like thinking, holy shit. And I have an antenna I bought to put on the outside of the house, but it basically got to attach it to like the top peak of the house. And my house, I'm not climbing up there.
Yeah, your house is tall.
My house is tall, and it's got a bit of an incline.
I didn't mind climbing when I was young, but I'm real fat now. I can't climb.
Well, I started looking at like mast systems, stuff you can like put together and then raise and just put it in the ground next to the house, but so it's still above the house. But I was like, because basically, if you want the best signal, you got to get your antenna 30 feet and above. TV antennas. But it's like all of a sudden that now I'm like, oh man, I got to do this. I got to figure out a way to do this. I bought this awesome antenna like 5 years ago because we talked about it then, and then we never did anything. And then when we moved into the house, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I realized that I'm never getting up that high on my house. I even talked to Frank about doing it one time. He's like, yeah, maybe.
You have that? I mean,
I have it. I
know someone that for sure that'll do it.
Oh, yeah?
My dad.
Yeah, no.
He has no fear of heights.
I know he doesn't. I have a fear of him being
I mean, he's old, but he'll do it.
But you know what I'm talking about? Where you see people, especially back in the old days, and now you see it sometimes, but they had like a separate mast. It was just next to their house instead of being on their house.
Yeah, and then and it would be braced or buckled to the house.
I thought about that, and there's, man.
Well, the funny thing is, like, where I got into CBs, and this is on subject, I'm not straying from it. My uncle Kerry, who gave me my first CB radio, 23 channel Chris, he had a telescoping mast with a rotor on the antenna.
Yep.
And he had it for CB or his TV, either one.
See, that's awesome.
So he would, back in the day, his CB got out real far, and then he could, like, he was picking up, like, Toronto fucking TV stations.
Yeah.
Here, near Detroit. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
cool to me. Man, I would love to do that. There is systems you can buy like that have the what do you call it, the rotating thing, so you can basically turn your antenna at different times. And
it's just called a rotor, by the way.
Is it a rotor? Okay. You can rotate it with your smartphone nowadays. Like you just hit it, just boop, and it'll turn it for you.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, that's why I won't buy an antenna like that, and that's why I won't buy a CB, because I'll go right back to getting into it, and that's why I won't do PC gaming either, because it becomes more about like how far you can get than just your enjoyment of it. It's like, I got a Port Huron station. I want to get a Bad Axe station in. And you just keep adding and adding, and you want more, and the thing is, it becomes about, I know my brain, and I'll get fucking, I want to go further, more, and that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
And I won't just watch TV like a normal person. It'll be about what I can get out of it.
I just wanted to get as many stations as I could, and then also not spend money. So that's why I thought about doing it. I think if I put that thing up and got it as high as I wanted to in the direction I know works now perfectly, and I got like 80 channels out of it somehow, I'd be like, yeah, okay.
Well, there's an antenna. I think it's $79. And supposedly people who, like, they barely get it above their house, like, a little bit. And I'm not talking about way above my house, just basically. And they get some serious, like, it's a sensitive mic. A sensitive antenna.
For us, we just got to point it, because your street runs the exact same direction as mine. No angle or anything. It's the same exact thing. To the south and to the west a little bit.
I think your house is even facing the same.
Everything's the same.
Everything's the same, yeah.
Exactly the same. Our streets run exactly the same way, and our houses face exactly the same way. So just a little bit towards the south and a little bit towards the west. So not even towards the middle school too much, like basically towards, no, I guess middle school would still work. But you pick up all those stations over that way. There's even a chance if you do it at the exact right, you can still pick up, like, well, if you're up high, you're definitely pick it up. But even if you just had one that was closer to ground level and you pointed that way, you could pick up like the Canadian station, like CBC and CTV and stuff like that. I just that's the only reason I ever wanted to do it.
I picked up the Canadian station, about the one I have in my
See, I used to, but when they changed and you had they changed frequencies and stuff, it's a lot harder to pick up now.
Okay,
this is in the last year or so.
I'm surprised that over the air broadcasts still happen, but I still think it's something I I'll always keep a terrestrial radio, and I have a shortwave radio in my dad's garage.
Yeah.
And I'll always keep that just in case there's a solar flare. Because if our satellites get nuked, there's no internet.
No, exactly.
I mean, it's not likely to happen, but there's a small percent chance that a solar flare or an EMP pulse from somebody that doesn't like us could fuck up our satellites, and at that point, you're going to need terrestrial radios, just like you always did.
I just thought I thought it'd be really interesting. I'm not getting rid. Maybe Netflix, but like with with the the cable companies and stuff, it was you have 200 channels. How many of those freaking channels do you watch? 10?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you have it? Doesn't make sense. You'll find something else to watch. You might not be able to watch all the stuff you used to watch, but man, just the money savings alone.
I haven't watched cable TV itself.
Yeah.
3 years.
See? I mean, I've watched it only because I have someone's login to watch some of those channels, the streaming apps. But same thing. We haven't had cable in almost 2 years.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm seriously thinking I wouldn't go with a base station again, but I think I'm going to get a small CB to just put in my truck.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking about getting an antenna that picks. It's kind of a hybrid. It does VHF, UHF, AM, FM.
That's perfect.
And get it above my house on that mast, and then we can adjust in case there's a EMP attack or a solar flare. I'm still connected to the world somehow.
See? And we're going back to the beginning of the show, talking about nostalgia. We're going back to CB radios and over-the-air TV and terrestrial radio.
And that is why we like Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Thank you for listening to Radio Underground. Check us out. Throw out our social media. Perfect way to end the show.
Radio Underground on everything.
Radio Underground, one word.
All one word. Twitter, Facebook. What's the other one? Instagram.
Reddit.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Reddit. Holy crap.
I barely go on Reddit, but we'll get on there if you're on.
Am I forgetting any?
No. But thank you, guys. It's been a good show. It's been nostalgic.
Check us.
Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening to